What's crackling, everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list, where each episode we take a cereal, put it on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host, Tucker. In this episode, we're going to do Kashi Go Chocolate Crunch. Now, this is the third Kashi Go cereal we've done. The first one, of course, being Kashi Go Original. And that was just kind of fine. It had three very distinct pieces, a bit of honey in there. That's about it. Kind of weird. But Kashi Go Crunch, where they replaced all those pieces with just some clusters, did manage to get a C, and I thought that was pretty alright. You know, you got pretty solid clusters in there, a bit of cinnamon flavor, worked out pretty well. This just seems to be adding chocolate to that, so that gives me hope it'll turn out okay. But let's just open it up, see what it's like. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, whoa. This smells like way more like Cocoa Pebbles than I expected. Okay. Interesting. Again, some bigger clusters. I don't think I expected it to smell as chocolatey as it does. That's kind of nice. Fair trade chocolate. All right. Well, let us try it out. Okay. That's like a pretty normal Cocoa Pebble, Cocoa Crispy type chocolate in here. Into that, getting some crunch from the clusters. Pretty decent start for this. The first bite, I was very much comparing in my mind to, Cocoa Pebbles, Cocoa Krispies, like I was saying. But I think part of that was just I was not expecting the chocolate flavor this has. So now that I've actually had a few more bites of it, it is very much its own sort of chocolate take. I think it's still reminiscent of those, but I feel like I was very much comparing them, and I don't think that's quite apt anymore. So it is a slightly different chocolate, and there's the plant-based protein and stuff, so it is a much different base. So I think it is more its own thing than I originally made it sound like. I think this is very much its own chocolate sort of flavor going on here. Which is still good. I'm still enjoying it, but I don't think it reaches quite the high flavor-wise that those do, but it's still pretty good. All right, the milk is looking chocolatey, so let's see what it tastes like. No, I mean, kind of, again, reminding me of stuff like Cocoa Krispies. Yeah, that's pretty decent chocolate milk. I don't think it's as strong as some of the just real intense chocolate cereals when it comes to how the flavor passes to the milk, but pretty good. I wouldn't say I loved this, but I did quite like it. I think this was another solid entry into the Kashi Go, and specifically, I guess, Crunch subsect of Kashi Go. So both this and the last one have been pretty solid. I like that. But compared to the last one, I think it doesn't quite stay crunchy as long. Like I feel like it was losing a bit of the crunch quicker than Kashi Go Crunch did. I don't know how accurate that is, but just thinking about the last bowl I had of Kashi Go Crunch, it seems to be that way. And I think I do like this chocolate taste. I think it's pretty solid, but I think the cinnamon maybe goes a bit better with the clusters that they have. Sometimes things just mesh a little better. I think that might be the case with the original. Although again, I do think this is real good chocolate, and I enjoyed that, despite it was weird going in, really comparing it to, Cocoa Pebbles, Cocoa Krispies, and then realized, no, it's its own thing, but still pretty good. So that was a whole travel I took, but overall, pretty happy with this cereal. So what I'm going to do is give Kashi Go Chocolate Crunch a C. I don't think it quite beats out the original Kashi Go Crunch, and I also don't think, again, it reaches the highs that Cocoa Pebbles Cocoa Crispy do, kind of going off a chocolate comparison there. So I think it's a fairly high C, but it doesn't quite hit that B range. I think maybe if the crunch had been a bit more present throughout the end, like it's very strong in the beginning, especially when you got those big clusters, and it does keep it for a while, but I think if it had been crunched the whole time, it might have been, you know, a bit more distinct from other chocolate cereals, because that doesn't happen a ton, and that might have helped it sort of stand out at a B. And really the only reason I think the crunch is a big deal for this one, like I feel like a lot of the other chocolate cereals do not keep crunch very long, but because this specifically says crunch in the name, I feel like that messes with the expectations a bit. So I think that's the only reason that I feel it's a little lacking there at the end. But again, overall, pretty good time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you've tried Kashi Go Chocolate Crunch and how you thought it compared to Kashi Go Crunch or just Kashi Go Original. I think obviously Kashi Go Original, the weird one, that's why they switched and did just clusters going forward. So if you think that was an error and we should go back to those weird 3 pieces, you can let me know. If you think no, clusters are great, this is the way to be, you should let me know. Or if you just like chocolate and thought this was a cool crunchy chocolate, you can let me know about that too. But until next time, stay delicious.